live from the Hollywood Mansion, aka Braden's former apartment. It's 1.5 Brains.
Yeah, and since the holiday season, we've decided to shake things up a bit. We have my wife Emily and her best friend Maya on the podcast. To help spread some holiday cheer.
So this was, for the record, this was not planned. Because, the more the merrier, holiday season and stuff. This is great. Honestly, we all get along really well. So enjoy.
Yeah, this is a movement we've started. So
you guys are actually the first guests on the show. This is actually it's becoming a thing now. So Em, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So I am Braden's wife. We've been together for 4 years now. I took the social work program, graduated in June, through what's called the inclusive post-secondary initiative.
She's also our editor, folks. So anything,
an
agent, and
she's very strict.
Not strict.
We think, right? I mean, anyway.
Yeah. Just like Jacob was saying, this is our formal apartment. So we actually yesterday ended up finding a dream
future home.
Future home.
Yeah.
And
So congratulations to you guys. Let's let Maya in on the conversation here for a bit.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Maya. I've known Emily for about 17 years now, and it's crazy how long that we've known each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually scary. These two have like the same wavelength of mind. It is.
We say the same things at the same time.
We do.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what drew us.
It's hard to keep up.
Why we became friends.
Literally why we became friends.
No.
I live in Red Deer, and I've lived there pretty much my whole life, and so I met Emily through middle school and high school. Yeah,
middle school, and then we lost contact for a while. I moved, we didn't have each other's phone numbers, and then we reconnected in high school. And I remember I was like, "Are you Maya?" And then we reconnected.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
the rest is history.
Yeah, she was the maid of honor in our wedding, and.
Yeah.
So, this is the, I guess, de facto 1.5 Brains holiday special because we couldn't think of anything else to do.
Yeah.
And,
I guess, what's always an interesting topic around this time is, the holiday season and what are some of the special things we like to do during this time, and of course, family is a big topic of this episode, and
huge.
I guess what are some of the things you enjoy doing during the Christmas season?
I mean, everybody hears those horror stories of like awkward family dinners and stuff. That is not how it went in my house.
No.
Because ever since we moved out here, we've just kind of done our own thing. I grew up in Ontario up until about 2011-ish.
Yeah.
And ever since then, we're like, it's not like going to visit family, driving around. And that's great. And I do miss it. The tradition is great.
Yeah. I guess hockey, watching the World Juniors is a favorite pastime, for me and my family, specifically. So,
Oh, right, because that happened. Like, I am not a hockey fan, folks. Never really have been.
Yeah.
He took me to my first Oilers game, and honestly, I was more interested in it for the theatrical production.
You loved it.
Than the actual,
be honest.
What is going on. Because I don't understand hockey worth crap.
The level seats.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm also sitting there going, wait a minute, did we just score, or was that the other team. Like,
yeah, you have to watch the puck. Where the heck is the puck the whole time?
Exactly, right? I feel like Ems can relate to this a little bit because you're not like into it.
I've never been a sports person either. And then, like, of course, when I met Braden, he's an Oilers fan.
Yeah.
So
It's
as I'm
loyal to the
him,
Oilers.
yeah, I'm supporting him, but also it's fun.
Like Jacob, you kind of
we absorb it through osmosis.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun events that happen, and
beyond just the game that is happening.
It's a whole production, man.
I'm more attentively watching what's going on.
It's like I had to check with his dad when I was there. It's like, that's good, right? No, okay, good. Honestly, though, it's a fun experience. But getting back to the Christmas side of things.
Yeah.
What's interesting about the holidays, I find, is you can't be a jerk during the holidays. Unless you, like, it's weird because, like, everyone is willing to call you out on being a Scrooge.
No,
it's true. Sorry.
Yeah.
But it is true because it does happen from time to time through family or through basically anywhere that you go.
Yeah.
Or even through friends.
Yeah.
That is like a big thing.
Everybody calls you out on doing dumb stuff during the holidays, which is great because the predisposition, I find, especially around whatever holiday you celebrate, be it like Christmas or like us, in our case, it's Christmas. In your case, it might be something different. You can't be just a knob. There's a predisposition of just not, you know, like, because you want to be positive. You want to do stuff like that. And also, I'm sorry, but Christmas in Canada is not Christmas in Canada without snow. Very unpopular opinion, but
it just doesn't give that feel.
No. I'm good with snow right up until about January 5th. Then it's like,
okay, you can go now.
It's like, don't let the door hit you on the way out, Jack Frost.
Oh boy.
This is going to be a lot of work in the edit.
I guess.
You forgot what you were going to say, didn't you?
I think this is more of a New Year's celebration, but I guess the Christmas traditions, I guess, is what brings us together as a family, as friends,
as whatever,
as a society.
Because, like, despite how awkward family dinners
seeing
can get,
how far,
it's the main point of this is togetherness. And like being with people. Because, as Braden has said in previous episodes, we are social creatures as humans. So it's an inherent thing.
And celebrating, I guess, where I was getting at with the whole New Year's thing is, reflecting on the successes, the peaks and valleys, the highs and lows of the current year that we're still in. So
I mean,
and to celebrate that's
you're right.
Pretty special.
You raise an interesting point there, Braden, because there's like so much in terms of reflection that goes on throughout December and January, because everybody's like, oh, New Year's resolution. My resolution is not to make a resolution, because I know that it's a lateral move. And also, you don't have to call it by a special name. You have to, like, if you're going to set a goal, set a goal. Who cares if it's a New Year's resolution or not?
And we all have visions and goals. Like, we all want something. And,
I know for a fact that a lot of people, of course, getting closer to the end of December. And then, of course, they're like, we're in November, but...
Close enough.
Literally, close enough. But, you know, it's like...
Half a dozen one suits the other. It's kind of... You know,
everybody wants to make a New Year's resolution, but it's just like, is it? Can you stick to it though? That is the biggest. That is the biggest impact of it. If you can stick to it or not.
And like even today, like if you want to explain Maya, even like the reason you wanted to come to there was a fundraising breakfast today, and and like the things you want to learn and about
learn about the inclusive life.
Yeah, like because
for context, kids, the inclusion fundraising breakfast was at like 7:30 this morning, and we're all a little over caffeinated.
Yeah, we're a little dopey, but
have fun. Lots of liquid ambition.
Honestly, but yes, with them inviting me to the Inclusion Alberta, actually, it was really enjoyable, and listening to the stories was very.
Yeah.
It's a moving thing.
Yeah,
it definitely is.
And it's all about like having a vision in life and what do you want to do? What do you want to do when you grow up?
Yeah.
It's just like typical people.
Yeah.
You know, you have a dream in mind, and
the holidays are actually kind of the poster season for inclusion, I would say, because like nobody should be alone on Christmas. There's that whole like stereotype.
Typically we're seen as these extraordinary people who overcome incredible odds, supposedly.
And the irony is we want to be ordinary.
Yeah, we're ordinary, everyday people who want to be a part of a family, a community, and
you know what I find interesting is that Braden and I are so like overly sensitized to this crap because we live, eat, and breathe it.
Yeah,
whereas someone like Maya is like on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah,
she doesn't she didn't know much until she came to the inclusion breakfast. Which
it's.
Yeah, seeing a different life rather than like maybe school wasn't as inclusive.
It's slightly less one-dimensional.
Because like even like because Ems and I both went to a Catholic school, but we were
big surprise there.
we like Ems was in thank you, Caney. I don't know.
Knowledge and employability.
Yeah.
Okay, so that actually provides some decent context there. So continue.
With me, I was in the foundations. And I feel like the foundations kind of really wasn't the program for me because it's just like
wasn't setting you up for success.
And
was it kind of a scenario of like throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it stuck, or
as one once said, trying to nail Jello to the wall.
That
I agree with that because it's just like with that class it was very
not
they babied you. That's what I felt. That's what I felt.
Yeah, and the thing about
can I be honest for a second there, Ems? That is one of my biggest pet peeves is that people can just insult our intelligence just because we're a little bit different. It's like
and you know, some programs they don't set you up for success.
No.
And
they really don't.
In the end of the day, like being able to be in class with everybody else, it's a dream that we all hope because we want to be able to be treated like everyone, and we want to be able to have a normal life and you know go to post-secondary if you want to, or even have a good job. It doesn't, you know, we all have visions. And
it's called
I've served.
It's called the normative pathway, which everybody like. There's like I said, we've said this before. There's a bunch of different names for it. Really, what it is just can we be like follow societal norms?
Yeah,
that is a huge deal.
Like you grow up as a valued member of a family with being surrounded by people who all value and support you.
Just kind of as an addendum to that, families aren't necessarily the problem here. The problem is society, because families are generally supposed to be supportive.
It's society
welcoming
that
and supportive.
is trying to guide parents and individuals in not as typical of a direction.
I mean, we can, talk about this until we're blue in the face, but I think what we're trying to say is it doesn't have to be like that.
And it does come up even at the dinner table at like Christmas.
Oh man.
Like the topics of group homes, the topics of
institutions.
Or like
which is a school for people with disabilities and
it's
when we're excluded, we're hopeless.
I feel like every family, or at least extended family, has that group of people who are like, we love you, but man,
they don't see that you could do more in life, or they don't really know that it's possible. And once they see it,
they assume the inclusive life is already or it's
an impossibility.
Yeah.
Because, and I think this is how I see it, is that people often live in their paradigm and they can't really see outside of that.
Yeah, I have to agree. And even coming with like wherever you're from, if you're Asian, if you're Latin, if you're from if
you're from like a marginalized background,
exactly,
I think.
like that is a whole different story, because sometimes it will come up in conversation, be like, oh, what are you going to be doing? Or they're like, what? They talk to the parents and be like, oh, what are you going to be doing for them?
Or like
it's something we want, but it's all of a sudden becomes
stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. And it's like
biases.
We've said this before, societal biases. And but kind of moving towards like those awkward conversations around the dinner table. My advice is keep your cards close to your chest. Nobody else needs to know what you plan for yourself if you are a neurodiverse individual, or your family who is a family of a neurodiverse individual. Like if people start prodding, just say, it's Christmas. Can we not discuss this right now? Like,
and you know, it's something that I've always been a very determined person. So throughout school, I've always wanted to get my diploma in. That was my goal. I was in and out of special programs.
And let's be real, you pushed yourself.
I pushed myself, and I had this teacher that was like, "You'll get your diploma," and
support.
Support is really important, and
it has to be, because without it, we are but one individual.
And the one thing that I have always like a quote I've always stuck with is, "Watch me." I don't say that, but
don't believe me. Just watch.
Like,
live by example.
Yeah, just live by example. Like, just watch me. Like, I will do it. You know, and just living the way you want to live, and have people supporting you, like beside you. But you can show people might not believe.
Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong.
Even with workplaces too. Workplaces are. I'm sorry, but workplaces. Oh my God, they piss me off.
Completely.
Because like where I work, I'm obviously not going to say the name because just
reasons.
I'm still working there. But you know, I asked my manager if I could be on the floor, but of course she said I had to be fast and efficient. I'm sorry, but I do have a learning disability. But I can still learn to a certain point.
Teach me.
That is exactly
we all have potential.
It's like
that's.
And sorry.
No, that's great.
But no, I get what you're saying, Maya.
It's basically prove them wrong, but they never believe.
No, because and here's the funny thing, right? Never tell me the odds. As an autistic person, never tell me the bloody odds. Because I'm like, challenge accepted. Here we go. Let's.
And actually, Maya and I worked at I'm not going to go in detail either, but same company. And I also have a disability, same one as Maya. And it's been challenging trying to
get what you need to do the job.
I need. I had good managers at one location, then I switched to another location.
And the managers were just...
And they were not supportive.
This was a retail organization.
It's... And, I mean, why is it? What I want to know is, why is it that people with diverse needs are often pigeonholed into retail jobs? Or, like, pigeonholed into... working the drive-thru at McD's or something, you know?
And at the end of the day, like, this is why even the Inclusive Secondary Initiative is amazing, because they see it as, like, you could do anything you want with the support and with, like, an adaptation. So
it blows the stereotype out of the water.
Like, if you want to dream it, you do it. Like, it'll happen.
I mean...
make it happen.
What's weird with me is I'm an interpreter at various facilities, and I have been for a few years now. And the thing I can tell you is, unless you say something, employers don't really know. So you have to be comfortable advocating for yourself.
Say what your needs are. And
be upfront and be honest with them, because... sometimes that works.
Sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't.
Oh yeah, sometimes they won't even hire you.
No, and which I think is really, really, really stupid, because everybody who has a disability or doesn't even should have a chance.
Equal opportunity.
Yes, thank you. An
equal rights.
But here's another thing, right?
Yeah.
To those people, I just say thank you. Now let me move on to the 7 billion other possibilities I have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. The one thing is, Braden and I, it's not every day that you end up having a disability and you get married.
No.
And
you guys are like living proof that it works.
It is possible. And we want kids. And we are not going to let society tell us we can't do that. With the right support, it will be possible.
Yeah.
Well, I've always, of course, one thing that inspires me every day is my why. I wake up every single day to inspire others, and particularly in the charitable and nonprofit sector. Growing up,
pretty soon you'll have a moniker like Tony Stark, billionaire genius.
No. Justin Timberlake got nothing to worry about with my dance steps. So,
come on, Lefty.
But I do give a lot of credit to, of course, my own family. I've been able to, for most of my life, live a fairly inclusive life.
Oh yeah, you've been pretty much unimpeded.
Yeah,
in community and in school mostly.
Yeah, and can I just say, because of this, and I feel like this bears repeating, mothers of kids with disabilities, you guys are freaking amazing because they go all mama grizzly on anyone who gets in the way of their kids, and it is awesome.
I love that.
No.
It's like, no, my son can do whatever he freaking wants.
They shape us and
guide they give us the tenacity to keep moving.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Braden.
Yeah.
I was going to interrupt you there.
Sorry. Whenever I've been excluded in society, it was usually due to some outside force.
It was an outside influence. It was never within the family. Yeah. And I think that bears repeating.
Yeah.
Sometimes extended family can have their own views, but here's the thing.
And the only way to...
Those who know you will usually support you.
And sometimes, there are families that maybe... From just me knowing people, but there's sometimes that they aren't always believed that it's possible either,
or that they don't quite understand the point unless it's laid out right in front of them.
And we as individuals, just keep showing people that you can do. We can do what we want to do and keep advocating. It's not being rebellious, but it's
not a rebellion.
Yeah, it's our needs. It's our wants. It's our desires.
There are multiple solutions, and I think one thing that puts us on that path toward those solutions is listening. Take the opportunity to hear us out, and listening is the missing half of communication, and when you take the time to listen,
listening and also a willingness to help, that is huge.
Serve,
that is beyond everything. You got to be willing, and if somebody's not willing to, thank you. Now let me move on to the 7 million other people who actually give a crap.
Right?
Yeah. It's there's some arguments that you're just not going to win.
No.
And people are not going to change their minds. People don't change if they've been on this earth for long enough that their views have been supported for long enough.
Yeah.
And there's, in the world, there's people who really don't believe that there's disabilities and different types of disabilities.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, but...
You know what, Maya? You remind me of a phrase that I have heard probably to no end is funny. You don't look autistic. Enlighten me, oh wise one. What does that look like?
When I say this, to no disrespect to anybody who has a disability, But there's people who be like, oh, you look like you don't have Down syndrome, or you look like you don't have disability.
Yeah.
Invisible.
Yeah.
That's literally.
You have to prove
you
that
don't,
you're disabled.
You don't know what goes on in our brains.
Yeah. I've had people say, you don't look like you have a disability. Oh, you seem pretty smoked.
Yeah.
And it's like, the thing is...
Thank you, but also you don't... It's a little bit rude, you know?
And Braden and I are both pretty independent people, and we don't need a whole lot of support, but sometimes we do with certain things. We struggle with certain things. Yeah, but we also help each other as well.
Play to your strengths, not your weaknesses.
Yeah,
and especially around the holiday season. And if somebody is trying to force the issue, just say, look, it's Christmas. Can we get along for like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this right now.
It's a time for coming together.
And possibly not ever. It's...
like I've had someone in my life that has said to me in the past, you'll never get married and you'll never graduate with a diploma. And I was like, I will prove you wrong. So,
you just did.
I mean, I didn't say it, of course, but I was like, okay, that's going to motivate me to do what I want, because people put you down and see you as someone who's a minority, and they don't see that you are actually able to do what you want.
Like, it's the invisibleness of a lot of disabilities that I think is very...
And us four, we all have pretty much invisible disabilities. You
well,
can't tell this
Braden, you kind of can, because, he's Braden.
I have a physical impairment and
the brain part, the
cognitive.
It's harder to tell with us four.
It's very hard to tell.
Yeah. Well,
like all four of us in this room right now, I think are probably the most qualified to not so much preach to our egos, but talk about ourselves and what our struggles are. So don't be afraid to self-advocate.
And at the end of the day, like, being able to be a self-advocate when you are able to communicate on these things, you're helping someone who may not be able to communicate as easily.
It's not so much leading by example. It's just like
having a voice and standing up for what you what you believe.
And that's okay to bring up to the dinner table is, hey, I believe that I can do this. It's okay to say that to a family member or a friend who may not see that you're able to.
If I may, guys, it's not so much adversarial. It's just a lack of understanding. And I think the more we do this, and that's also kind of the reason Braden and I started this podcast, was to enlighten people and show that having a disability is not all bad.
No,
it definitely isn't.
No, it isn't.
I mean, like, we're all sitting here laughing our asses off, and it is like...
Oh my God.
We had to take, 3 takes?
It took 3 takes to get this podcast started, because we busted a gut for, like... a solid 5 minutes. It is insane.
A party going on.
It's going to be more difficult as this
this season progresses. I feel like it's just going to be more
people that watch.
Calamity will undoubtedly ensue.
A sprinkle of comedy.
You gotta have comedy in life, because honestly,
if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at?
Exactly.
You know, like
we're living up to that discussing the funny part of neurodiversion,
I think to that end, we're coming up on the 30-minute mark. So, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. And also, this has been 1.5 Brains, the good, the bad, and the funny of neurodiversion.
Yeah.